Hey, how are you?
Again, yourself, thanks.
Good, man. Yeah, let's forget Skype. Let's just do WhatsApp, and I'll put my dictaphone underneath. My God, this technology is sometimes just weird. I never
Yeah, well, as I said, I've been trying to contact you. I can't get anything.
No, same here.
And
Same here.
so I don't know. This is what I was afraid of. This is the first time I've used Skype.
Yeah, but no worries. We're doing audio anyway, so it doesn't matter. So let me just place this right underneath so you can get picked up. I hope that our voice balance is okay. We'll see.
Okay.
So how you been doing, man?
No, it's been hectic.
Crazy busy.
Cold and hectic.
Yeah, we're finally getting some warmer temperatures over here in Europe. Today it's really it's blistering. It's you try not to move too much.
Okay, we're freezing.
Yeah, I hear that from people in Namibia as well. They're also going like, "Whoa, okay."
That's right.
Okay, cool, man. So let's just kick it off. Like I've always wanted to do this. I think it's just for me. It's just part of a little South African history that has really gotten so lost somehow, and especially having been there during the years. Especially, I was only there privy to the whole exercise upon joining VOD, and that was about '93. I was in Cape Town actually doing my studies, and then parallel, I ended up being second guitarist in VOD. Contrary to a lot of the desires of some members. So anyway, so I was like, in a way, second guitarist and persona non grata at the same time. But anyway, we just pressed on. I think it was more Greg and me. But anyway, to get back to you, what got you into music for starters? What was your first touching point where you can recollect going, okay, I'm definitely going to do something with music? I mean, I just know through the grapevine and from talking to Greg and that you've also played music. Were you involved with a band called Axe? I hope I'm not wrong.
That's right. I started playing piano when I was about 6 years old.
Okay.
And my folks eventually sent me for piano lessons. Did the normal syncopation for a while, got bored, and moved on to classics. And then I did my Royal School's grade 8 in classical piano.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you've got a full-on... Okay, piano. But then what was the next step?
Well, it wasn't really about music. I would say I never really... I like playing music. I learned to play guitar, did all the guitar stuff. I had little bands. We used to play around. But my main mission always was... I built myself a little studio. I always wanted to record. I got a little 4-track and built my own mixing console. So it was basically that side. Then I got invited to do some session work at the big studios.
Okay.
And I went and did some session work, playing. But I wanted to be the other side of the glass.
Yeah.
I didn't like the other one. I wanted to be where all the buttons were.
Yeah.
Again, that nice MPEG's 2-inch master tape smell.
Yes, and why not?
So that's what really got me into it. And although I played in bands, it was more recording, and doing that stuff that really was where I was really into. And that showed throughout my career.
But tell me, did you that part of history sort of I wasn't involved with at all? But you played formally with Axe live?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, because no, I just
I did quite a few gigs. I wrote the songs.
Okay.
She wrote the lyrics. And the band was only at the bass, drums, guitar, and vocals. And they put the rest together.
Yeah. Okay, but you always felt you were closer to the tech side of things.
Yeah, no, I was never disillusioned by the fact of becoming a big rock star.
Yeah.
As I said,
and nobody
it was the wrong side of the glass for me.
Yeah, nobody should be. Especially nowadays.
It was. I was always into my tech. I'm always, tech is my thing.
Okay.
And I like I did a lot of my synth stuff, the trancey, progressive kind of, synth stuff, techno and stuff. But it was just me having fun.
Yeah.
Playing with a whole lot of viruses. But I've always been in the studio, and I've always worked with bands. Tribe after Tribe, one of South Africa's very popular bands back in the days.
What was
Elemental?
Help me! Just stop there quickly. Tribe after Tribe. Robbie Rob.
That
was it.
I did their first album.
I've got a friend of mine will actually now be jumping up and down. He's a huge Tribe after Tribe fan. Greetings to Sven, if you're listening. Wow. I was not aware of that. Okay. And then Elemental, obviously. Did you have any touch points with other South African, like No Friends of Harry, that kind of stuff?
I did the Helicopter. I did the Gathering for South Africa's first gospel band. I did the Outsiders. Of course, I did Odyssey, Thysis, Gutted Remains. I can go on forever.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. I can't even remember how many bands I've recorded.
You don't want to know. Are you talking about that Odyssey, that full length? I mean, because that full length is now getting, I speak under correction, under discogs.com, it is getting dealed at, let me not lie. Please, anyone that knows, correct me, but I think it's way over 40 euros for that vinyl.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, I've got about 5 copies left. Sealed.
So you're a rich man. Yeah. Anyway, but wow, it's and people. It was a year ago that I actually researched the Odyssey album quite a bit, and people were ready ready and willing. I think the amount must have been higher, but the comments underneath were like, "Oh man, I want to get hold of that. I want to get hold of that. I want to get hold of that." But all the bigger was
it was a very popular.
Yes, and it is still a very good album, and all the more disappointed.
Excellent.
I was very disappointed when, but we talked about this recently when we had a private chat. I was so disappointed when Sam Dunn, who does all these like metal docus, and he did a whole Southern African thing, but obviously he went for all the acts that are now currently on Vogue. But he sort of skipped out all the grassroots, like the the Striders, the Odysseys, the VODs. It was really strange. It was weird for me to watch it. It was kind of, he just missed it all, the entire history.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. Because I don't know where it actually started.
Yes,
And
exactly.
it's, with Odyssey, it was a case of, let me put it this way: I was looking for something good. This this person brought me this band, said I must come listening to them. Each of the band members was very good as a muser.
Yes, they were.
And I said, you know what? This is like, no one puts these guys into the big studios. It's always your backyard studios.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to take Odyssey and I'm going to do the full deal on it.
Yeah.
It's the full pro recording all the way down. Full production, everything. And that's what happened. Yes. I'm going to send you a track of Odyssey, which was never released. It came out after the album.
Oh, wow.
A track called Guilty. It's actually amazing.
Yeah.
But it was never released.
Oh, that's such a pity they never continued. But as is the case with a lot of SA acts, really delivering solid debuts or solid demos, and you would sort of never hear much more after that, sadly.
Yeah. And basically from that point in time, after Odyssey, then of course I got more metal bands coming to all rock bands and coming to me. And I like working with the young bands, It's very easy to actually get a platinum disc for an artist that's got the whole industry behind them, the best of everything. Tried to do it with a little bunch of 18-year-olds or 16-year-olds. Different story.
Yes.
And that's what I loved. That was the challenge.
Oh, but
anyone could have recorded. I recorded Brenda Fazzi's Weekend Special. Anybody could have recorded it. So it went double platinum in 2 weeks.
Wow.
150,000 sales. So.
Yeah, but therein lies the challenge, huh? But
so that's how it started, and that's how the metal thing went. And then I started to do the live shows with the metal bands.
Yeah.
I realized that it wasn't just putting them into the studio. So I built a whole live rig, desk with gates and compressors and everything, and we used to just go out every weekend. Well, virtually every weekend and play. And we'd do all spots from Pretoria to Van der Bijl to Krugersdorp.
Yeah.
And we'll just, we'd all have these little gigs.
Amazing. It must have been such an exciting time in SA.
Well, at its peak, when VOD played at Alcatraz, we were pulling 1,500 people to a gig.
Yeah. That's amazing. But,
up here we were putting on. The problem is, it was 94, the whole bottom fell out of the metal scene. And the reason for that is most of the metal supporters in this country were Eastern Europeans.
Yeah.
It was the Eastern Europeans that came out here on contract work to work on Pelendaba, the uranium processing and stuff like that.
Yes.
And it was their kids that were supporting us. Then the ANC came into power and they cancelled all their contracts. So they went home. From like 1,500 people at a gig, we used to get 200.
And another thing, Philip, that I noticed from Namibia's side is when we were still a part of SA, there were so many demo tapes circling Namibia that came originally from the guys situated in Walvis Bay. Those were army guys, and that's how I got demos from Ball Thrower and Napalm Death and all thrash stuff, and it was really amazing to see. And when that all died down, obviously you could really feel it. It was just, it was gone,
Yeah. As I said, that's what happened to the metal scene here.
Yeah.
As soon as the contract workers went home, the metal scene just died.
Yeah. Because it was only from 93 onwards, as I said, that I joined the ranks of the VOD guys and sort of got in touch. And we played with various Cape Town acts, Raven Wolf, and, oh God, numerous other acts. And there were also like hard rock bands around there, like Bounty Hunter. And, I'm struggling to remember all the names. But it was only during our excursions to Joburg that we shared the stage with Metamorphosis and Retribution and actually the heavier bands. But I always felt me as an quote unquote outsider, as a Namibian. I think my ties to Germany were always stronger, but I always felt that a lot of that the SA fan base was sort of very fickle.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah, I just always felt it was very. Yeah, I mean the gigs weren't really like well supported, and I just always felt that it was my feeling that people were really after the sort of trendy stuff and not really diehard supporters. But I might rub some people up the wrong way right now, but it's just the feeling I had a lot of the times, and it changed a lot.
Well, as I said, we after '94, you would have definitely felt it.
I mean,
because especially up here, because this is where most of the kids were, the Eastern Europeans.
Yeah.
But as I said, after that, it died.
Yeah, and
the whole scene just died. I stopped doing gigs.
Yeah, and
wasn't worth it.
And let's not forget the international change, the paradigm shift in music. I mean, grunge happened. Let's not blame it all on grunge, but I mean, there was a huge. I mean, you saw big American acts folding, but yet at the same time, suddenly out of Tampa, Florida, comes this death metal wave, which was really interesting to see. But I mean, that was only for a while, and then the rest of the 90s were very bleak.
You're right.
Yeah. So anyway, and then, okay, so I'm just going to rewind a little bit back. So In-House Records, when did you start it?
Sure. Must have been about 86, 87. I did a lot of black acts.
Yeah. Okay.
Your local black stuff, specifically for the Limpopo area.
Yeah.
And a lot of your what they call your vendor artists. It was kind of my little speciality field.
Yeah.
And it was just prior to the changeover in '94. We had the big black boycotts that were going on in the country, not buying, and that's why, and that's when I actually gave my entire black catalog away. I just said, just take it, don't want it. And that's when I started to really get involved with the metal bands, because you could make a living out of it. Amazingly enough.
Yes. So,
whereas your black artists, nothing was selling.
Yeah. Yeah, so metal was selling at that point. But that brought you together with, did you do that in partnership with James Gall, or was he just, I don't know, what was the sort of setup?
James eventually found me, of course, because of Odyssey and things like that. And then we started to work together. and basically it's he used to then run around and help me with all the little heavy metal bands. He knew them all. He got them into the studio. He arranged it. He arranged the gigs, who's going to play. And he became very good at it.
Mm.
And that is my dealings with James. But he was mainly just on the band side, coordinating.
Yeah. But this is now the period where stuff materialized, like your workings with VOD, your recordings with bands like Debauchery and bands like Abhorrence, all the bands that ended up on the Death of Africa compilation. I think it was, I don't know how that whole deal managed. I see that compilation also listed under Morbid Records.
Yeah, we sold it, or they bought a whole lot of, or they became our distro, I should say,
yes, okay.
in Germany.
Yeah. But that is...
And that's how it happened.
Yeah, that is a compilation that is always well received. Whomever I speak to about SA stuff, they always say, like, what a well produced. They always by default they always comment on the stellar production. But I mean, it was really well done.
Yeah, well.
No, really a great sounding compilation, I must say. So obviously then the 90s came and everything sort of went really weird. I mean, I think we all sort of went in different directions. I exited VOD and I did something. I started with my own band in Namibia and things just changed. I mean, I was in the meanwhile, after I actually exited VOD, we did a European tour via Morbid Records. Sadly, that was never to be continued, and I think VOD brought out Bloedrivier on their own via Morbid Records. But yeah, sadly not to be continued, or no follow-ups followed really. In that time, I recorded about 4 albums with my own band in Namibia. But also I cannot tell you. I mean, we were reliant on engineers in Namibia, and I tell you, it was hair-raising. It was kind of these engineers were like. I remember clear situations where we were in the studio, and I just said, like, I can't hear the guitars. I mean, it's just, this is metal. These guitars need to be up front. And it was those kind of things. These people, I mean, you can't blame them. They recorded as a jazz and, like, mostly black acts and stuff, and they just didn't know what to do with the distorted guitar. And it was all too... Yeah. And I remember, I actually remember the engineer going, like, I don't know what to do with all these levels. It was just kind of like, holy shit. And this was a studio. It was originally SABC, Philip, you remember. This was like, this is a studio. It also had don't ask me what that desk was, but it was a big thing with studios. It was a huge studio. And this is the original SABC stuff. And there went my illusions. I thought, oh God, we're going to get a decent sounding album. Okay, I guess it could have been worse, but it was just never really there, where we wanted it to sound. But yeah, I guess that's where they just didn't know what to make of the music.
Yeah, too much noise.
Mm-hmm. You're a very noisy bunch, but just pay us and we'll do your mix.
Yeah.
No, it was funny. But anyway, that's all experience and stuff. But tell me, at the moment now, currently, here, right in the now, do you still have contact to well, which brings me to my next question, really, is there... No, there is still a metal scene, I know. It's just changed. It's a lot of this really, like, guttural slam death stuff that's out there. And it's a lot of people out there, obviously producing their own stuff in their bedroom. And but how is your contact at the moment?
I've got very little contact with the metal scene. I've got one ex-student who's kind of writes for the scene sometimes, and he tends to be around in the scene. So I get a lot of my info from him and hear a lot of stuff that's around, from him. But I don't really have that time to head off in that direction anymore,
But just as an example, I mean, now there's a band called, I don't know if you remember Atheist from the 80s. They were like a really technical death metal band from Florida. And they went back to actually using Scott Burns. And, I'm just going to level with you. I always thought you were like the South African Scott Burns. Because, just because you did the bands and it was sort of a little bit of a boom there and whatever. But anyway, Atheist went back to Scott Burns now, who did a hiatus of like 20 plus years. He just exited. He felt he was saturated. He felt he was like he needed to do something else. Everything was sounding the same. Everything was sounding like Napalm Death and Deicide. But anyway, and he did an album again for Kelly Schaefer from Atheist, and just as a little bit of a, hey, here I am. But obviously facing new technology, and it's no longer the reels. It's no longer. It's just all Pro Tools, and it's technical. How did you feel? What were your feelings when it all went so digital? And while I'm saying that, obviously this is now in studio. What changed? And then externally is. I always ask myself this big question, like you've got a big production if you want to produce big, and then for people nowadays to listen to it on their phone. You know what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I know. That's the challenge in one part of the thing, especially for the engineer. Is trying to still keep that big studio sound, but have it still translate onto a cell phone speaker.
Yeah.
Which, of course,
it's almost ridiculous. But I mean, I don't personally listen to music like that. I don't listen to it just over my cell phone speaker. But I see a lot of people walking around, angled phone against their head, or with these little pods in their ears, and okay, cool, that's fine. I just sometimes wonder, put it this way, sometimes I'm not surprised that a lot of acts just decide to, we can do it on our own and just with our DAW and finished,
That's right, and that's one of the things that's happened, because it sounds so bad anyway.
Yes,
really, it does.
So
sounds terrible.
So why spend so much?
Well, not only. It's not that why they just go. My fine. It's as good as my buddies. As good as a band down the road.
Yeah.
Why must I even learn?
Yeah.
Basket.
Yeah.
There's some automated tools on the net. I'll put it through that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this has pulled the entire standard down.
It has.
Because if you listen to most acts, it's terrible. Even your top line bands, or and you listen to productions, and it just sounds like garbage.
It is.
It hurts.
It's amazing.
It's brittle. You can't hear things properly. It's over compressed. And you're saying, but why must music hurt? You put in your little phones, and eyes want to bleed.
Yes, but I took that to heart, by the way.
You're daring to eyes will bleed.
Yeah. But it's also interesting. I drive to work, and I don't have I haven't made as a metalhead, I should have actually made the effort of just getting a sound system and listening to CDs, whatever, which I prefer. I don't like radio stations prescribing what I listen to. but I haven't.
Yeah.
It's my girlfriend's car, so I don't want to. Anyway, so I'm forced to listen to the radio garbage. But what amazes me about a lot of commercial pop at the moment, and what the radio stations play, it's singers don't sing anymore. It's like a whispering. There's no full
Yeah.
vocal attack anymore. It's just like it's like they just stand in front of the mic and the whispering gets so processed and up there, and it's almost like everything has the same beat. Everything has the same sort of samples. I can't tell a lot of the stuff. I mean, I can even name acts. Ava Max. Sometimes I can't tell an Ava Max track just apart from her voice. But I mean, the music I can't tell apart from a Dua Lipa track. It's just like really. I just wonder. Do these engineers? They all use the same stuff, and that has crossed over into metal.
Well, yes, not the engineers. It's your production team.
The production team, yeah.
The engineers behind to do that.
Yeah, and it's amazing to watch the trends. It's sometimes a while ago it was all this like it's like a bass drum and not a snare but a clap. It's like a doop, clap, doop, clap, which is like the new dance thing. And then suddenly 20 songs like that come out. It's amazing, and they all sound the same. And then now it's a big thing. What I've noticed last week, now suddenly there's a big uprising of songs that I personally call giddy up, because they sound like they're like a wannabe country, but this and it's and everybody's doing it at the moment. It's really weird. It's like music I would listen to at a rodeo, and it's just like everybody's got this as a backbeat now. It's like a lot of the stuff. It's like recently a lot of international acts borrowed this quieter beat. And it's like it comes out and then it gets copied ad nauseum. It's amazing.
You see, back to the old days, it's when this started to come out and the computer started to come out, we looked at this and we said, this is the death knell of the industry.
Yeah.
Because we knew what was going to happen.
But do you
could see it?
But do you think it's a death knell? That's what was going to be my next question. How did you feel when all this technology came out? And now obviously we're facing the next big hurdle, AI. What are your feelings there?
Well, as I said, when the first technology came out, when the computers came out, the synths came out, and we saw that was like Brenda. Yeah. She'd do a song, and 4 more other black artists would have the same sounds.
Yes.
Because they had the same synth.
Yes.
They had the same everything. So it was easy just to copy.
Yeah. That's it.
And this is what's happened. The guys get the same sample packs. They're using the same kind of software, and then it goes on to being little things happen. Everyone tries to jump on it quickly.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, in a way, that's always been there. I mean, remember the big drums in the 80s, like Def Leppard, for instance, when the snare drum hits, you think, my God, it's an asteroid hit. It's like,
yeah.
And then that died down after a while, and then comes the next thing. It's always something that just gets ridden to death.
Yeah.
But this.
Oh, and I get onto AI. It's to a large extent to be the new thing again.
Yeah.
I've watched the AI stuff. I've watched the AI videos. It's going to get smarter and better. A lot of copyright infringement going on there.
Yes, absolutely. They need to find ways of regulating this stuff, huh?
I want to stay away from that one. And I've heard some of the songs, and they're really, they're just not good. One of my associates I mixed for, he sent me a song which I mixed, had lyrics done. Very good, everything was done. And then he got back to me and he said, look, just take the vocals off that track. I'll leave it as an instrumental. He said, I normally write my own lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
And this time I've got AI to write my lyrics.
Okay.
And he says, they make no sense.
Yeah.
It's lost the meaning.
Yes.
It's putting nice words, but the meaning's gone.
Yeah.
The meaning that I wrote the song with is gone.
Mm. Yeah, it's true.
changed
It is true. I mean, yeah, but it is crossing over into business. It is crossing over into almost any facet of your life. And this is what I tell my young sons who are now making career decisions, exiting school. I said, like, you better brace yourself. This is going to, it is bigger than just music or artwork, or it is going to really influence everything. And it's scary. Yeah.
Well, I tell people is learn how to do it.
Yes,
learn how to
learn the right way.
The job. Learn AI.
Yes.
Get there.
Keep your
understand
eyes.
It.
Keep your eyes on that.
Works.
Yes. Yeah.
But you don't let it do it.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
You don't teach AI.
Yes. Yeah.
And you do the things yourself.
Absolutely.
Because one of these days, very few people are going to be able to do things.
Yeah,
especially when AI says not anymore.
It's interesting, actually. It was I don't remember who the musician was. It was some metal guitarist, and I think maybe it might have been Marty Friedman from Megadeth. And somebody said, like, what do you feel about AI taking over music? He says, like, hasn't it taken over yet? Which was interesting because, you know, for the last 10 years now, when a new thrash album or a metal album or whatever comes out, it all sounds, it's the same drum patterns, the same drum samples, it's the same guitar sounds. That's why I find I can't tell most of the bands apart. I can't tell them apart, really. If you were to do a karaoke for me and I had to guess, I would go, whew. Well, not of the 80s, obviously, but of the latest stuff, I would just go, I don't know.
Yeah.
No idea. And I must honestly say, and this involves bands like, even later albums of known bands like Exodus and stuff, where I just go, if you were to randomly just pick apart, I just go, sound-wise, this could be any new act. I can't tell it apart, no. And it's missing that old Alex Perales sound or Bruce Fairbairn or Scott Burns or Randy Burns, or it's just that signature is gone. Everybody is just competing for volume, and Well,
the problem is it's ended up in a bedroom now, very closed loop. With either the muso or the producer, the so-called muso, or the guitarist that now is the engineer. This is the problem.
Yeah, exactly. That's scary.
There's no checks. Before, when you went into the studio, it was expensive.
Mm.
You had to know people and you had to be good. And so more care was taken all the way down the whole chain.
Yeah.
But now you can sit in your bedroom,
and you
you can pump the stuff out.
You can just muck around, yeah.
And that's why handing your stuff over to someone else and saying, right, now fix it.
That is
still a good idea.
No, it's not. Yeah, exactly. No, it is.
Because you can get so involved in your music that you don't hear it.
No. You
and something I also say to you, the new bands and new artists. We had 24 tracks. Look what we did with 24 tracks.
Yes.
How many tracks do you guys use?
It gets ridiculous.
That's right.
Yeah, no, but you
And
have
I
to,
always say to them, well, why don't you set yourself a limit, 24 tracks?
and that's it.
You'll write better songs.
Yes, you probably will, because you just end up fleshing it out and to the max. Yes.
That's right.
But I find
You'll
myself,
sort it out.
I find myself analyzing music a lot more these days. For instance, this is, but other people will laugh. But for instance, I just took Trevor Horn. Frankie Goes to Hollywood. I mean, he did like the ridiculous Video Kill the Radio Star, which is not a song I'm very fond of, but still, the production on for instance, just take the Frankie Goes to Hollywood albums. If you just listen, now whether you like Frankie or not, just listen to the depth on that. There is so much happening there, but it is collected, and it's not all over the show. It's so, and I admire the living kingdom out of that. How do you get so much atmosphere? And this is way back. This is what is it? 85? I don't know. You know, it's amazing.
The thing is, if you try and bury it, what's happening is you do a track, you write something, you play something, then you go, no, I've got to add something else now, because the problem is your mix is going for a loop because you're not watching your mix.
Yeah.
You're adding things into it, stuff starts to disappear, therefore your original groove goes away. Now you add more stuff to try and get your original groove back, which now destroys other things. Yeah. That's why you end up with 48 tracks later.
Yeah, and it gets very hard to control.
Very hard.
And it's also like, it's an instant amplification effect, huh? It's just, everything just gets louder. No?
As I said with one client of mine, it's if I've got 20 tracks, it's a lot. And every track rocks.
Yeah, because how much can the human ear actually detect?
You know, it's that old thing. You're trying to put 50 people into a London telephone booth and then trying to identify them all.
Yes. Yeah. Much of a muchness.
You can't.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because sometimes the stuff just gets lost. No matter how good you are with EQ or whatever, it gets lost.
Yeah, it's too much.
It becomes a wall of noise.
Yeah, it's like capturing an orchestra, but except that's a different beast. Yeah. But even then...
Yeah.
I'm just going to jump back.
They aren't all playing at the same time.
Yes, that's true. That is true. They're not all blaring at the same time. Yeah. But a lot of the metal acts are blaring at the same time. It's very loud, and yeah. I wanted to get back to a question. Napalm Death played South Africa in '93. What was your involvement there?
What was?
With Napalm Death coming to South Africa.
Yeah.
Were you involved at all, or?
Yes, I was involved with it with the fact that some of my bands were booked. VOD was one for Cape Town. Retribution Denied.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who the other band was.
I saw the Cape Town game.
Yeah, it was Retribution Denied and one of the other bands of ours that also did Cape Town.
Yeah.
But my involvement was just to do our bands. I flew our bands. That was it, and it was basically we want your band for the Joburg gig, want them for the Cape Town gig. The bands wanted me to fly them, so I went down to Cape Town with them. I flew them at the Thunderdome and then flew them in Cape Town.
Okay.
That was my involvement.
Yeah.
I had no other involvement with actually Napalm.
Interesting.
apart from getting trashed on the tour bus.
I can imagine. No, I was there as a fan, but yeah. Final question. Why do you think, and this is a question that sort of keeps me going, is why do you think SA has never brought forth a bigger, let's not just make it metal, let's call it a rock metal act? Well, they have in a way.
Sure.
Sarah and Gas became, what was it? They had South African roots. It's always a roots thing somehow. But like an official SA band that breaks through. I mean, what was it in the 70s? Rabbit?
Yeah. But that was also not much of anything.
Yeah, and then you had, what was that? The Working Girls with Substitute. Was that South African? I think. So you have.
Yeah, it's. What do they call the game, man?
Working Girls.
No, wasn't Working Girls. Sure, the name's down the tip of my tongue.
And then you had Evoid.
It's stupid because I worked with them. Cindy Alters, was the singer. Jenny was the bass player. Yeah, they did Substitute.
Anyway.
Anyway.
I thought it was Working Girls, but
I can't think.
I might be wrong. Yeah.
The name right now.
Yeah, and then obviously Evoid, and yeah, but it always puzzles me why every country sort of pumps out a big act, at least. I mean, like Germany's not like a big export of international acts either, but I mean, you've got Rammstein and the aging Scorpions, but
Our radio wasn't very friendly to us. I mean, bands like Outkast. I don't know if you ever heard Outkast.
No, I'm not familiar with them.
From South Africa.
No.
This stuff's incredible.
Okay.
They wouldn't play them. It was commercial. Nothing wrong with it. But they didn't like it. Radio 5.
Yeah, amazing, huh?
So we never got airplay. In fact, they played very little of our stuff.
It's funny.
And that came from some of the major labels.
And
I was an indie label.
I actually thought...
And the major labels did not want anything to happen.
Yeah.
And they blocked me so many times.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Whatever I did, they blocked it.
Yeah, they want to sell their stuff, and there's payola, huh?
But not only that, it's they just didn't want somebody else doing it. They wanted to do it. But they had no hope in doing it.
So it's a little...
So all they did is they stopped you.
Yeah, so it's a little mafia.
Yeah.
But it's another... I don't know if you're familiar... You're familiar with... Obviously, you know the band A-King?
Yeah.
And they brought out an album that I thought was phenomenal. Red Blooded Years. This is now a couple of years ago. And I thought, now this album is so good. This should hit internationally. Do yourself. I'll send you a link. Listen to it. I just thought, wow. I think it's got the drummer from Folk of Politica, but it's like some really cool tunes. And I was just sitting here wondering, why does this not hit in the UK? Why does this not hit in America? Weird, strange. But yeah.
Yeah, well, you're still tied to that marketing thing. How do you get it out there?
Exactly.
That's the other big problem.
Yeah, it just doesn't get pushed.
Everyone says, sorry?
It just doesn't get pushed.
No.
Because I'm of the firm belief. I mean, I hear it on the radio every day to work. It's just repeated enough, people will get it. It's just because the garbage they play on radio. It's just, come on.
Well, who's paying for it? You see.
It's the
Who's paying for them to play the garbage?
well over here. It's BMG and those guys, definitely.
Right.
It's the big majors.
That's where one of the biggest problems is. The payola, what it is.
Yeah,
It'll never go away.
No, it won't go away. I think payola was in the 80s as well. I mean,
the big labels, no matter who you are, are going to ride it.
Yeah.
You have the odd lucky one, the odd indie that'll do it for a while, and then they're gone.
Yeah. Fascinating. What a business.
There's too much money involved in certain places, and it's also one of the reasons why I kind of got out of the music industry.
Yeah.
I had enough of my own hassles where they stopped me selling product.
Yeah.
They stopped buying product from me.
Yeah.
Just because I was an indie.
Yeah. So you recognize that way early.
You got no power.
Yeah.
So that's when I turned around and said, you know what, I'm out of here.
Yes.
Because you're fighting a losing battle.
Definitely.
No matter how hard you work, no matter how much effort you put in, means nothing.
No, you're up against the mafia. That's it. A monopoly.
Yeah. And I knew all the guys as well because I worked with them. So I knew exactly what was happening. That's the worst.
Wow. Crazy stuff. And here we musicians think, I'm going to write a better song tomorrow. Which isn't bad, I suppose. But anyway.
Never give up.
Nah.
Never stop writing.
Yeah.
Never stop chasing that dream. That's all I can say.
By the way, I'm going to
because that's what it all is.
I'm going to send you a little JPEG just now. That's just off the topic. False Idols now, the final release went out yesterday. That they're going to release it on vinyl and CD. But it's also like a thing. I mean, we had a discussion and they said like, well, number one, an EP doesn't sell that well. Number two, nobody buys CDs anymore. So we'll see. Look, I've detached myself.
Well, it's true.
I've detached myself from the illusions anyway. I'm just glad it's out. And if all I have is a vinyl in my hands, then I'm happy.
Fine. That's all you need to worry about. Exactly. You just keep writing because your stuff's good.
Thanks a lot, man.
I really enjoy your stuff.
I will.
Especially the the Citadel stuff and all that,
Silver
you know?
Yeah.
That more goth stuff. It's awesome.
Well, I try, say.
And everything you do just suits it. Your vocals suit it. Everything suits it.
I won't give up.
Don't give that up.
Cool. Man, it's been great to chat.
Cool.
I'm going to let you go. And I'm going to try and have this up by probably later tonight as well.
Okay. Well, see what you can do with it.
Yeah, I don't know if you have any chance of sharing it somehow. I don't know if you've got Facebook or probably you're not so much into social media, eh?
Well, just send me the links.
I will.
I'll just put it out.
I will do so.
But remember, it's, just put the stuff out there. It's the best you can do.
I will.
So next time you write, 24 tracks.
Will do. I'll try and aim for it.
Try.
Will do.
Cool.
Have a good one.
Okay, it was been nice talking to you, and it's
likewise.
Hopefully we can get Skype working better next time.
Yeah.
I'll find out why I didn't want to do anything.
I haven't the foggiest.
Because I said it's on, and it's all open. But anyway, we'll sort that out later.
Will do.
Cool, yeah.
Have a good one.
And thanks for the payment. I got it. Thank you.
Awesome. I'll let you know.
Sorry?
I'll let you know when it's up.
Cool. Okay. See you then.
Cheers.
Ciao.